So welcome to the Blissful Flow on Wednesdays. I was telling Marianne when she came in that Wednesdays are a little bit more amped up physically than Monday's Blissful Flows. That's what Jen and I have discussed doing. So it's still a Blissful Flow approach, but there's a little bit more physicality. So with the Dharma talk that I wanted to do before this class, I wanted to share with you, it's kind of you know how in biblical text they have like parables, and really they're stories that have like a moral lesson to them. Well, they have the same thing in other types of philosophy and religions. And, Thich Nhat Hanh was a great religious leader. He was a peacemaker. He was an author. He was a Buddhist monk. He actually passed away, I'm wanting to say a couple months ago. But anyway, I saw a post, whoever's running his social media, last week, and I took a notation of it because I wanted to share it with you guys. So there's this story that there was a Buddhist monk who lived in a monastery who wanted to meditate alone. Because, lots of times in the monasteries, they'll come together and meditate in groups. And he decided he wanted some solitude. So he decided he would go out onto the lake and he would meditate on the water. And so he got one of the boats and he rowed out to the middle of the lake and he shut his eyes and he went into really deep meditation. And he was in this deep meditation for a couple hours, and then all of a sudden, bam, his boat gets hit. And he's sitting in meditation and it disturbs his meditation, which disturbed him emotionally. And he realized anger was boiling up inside. So he opens up his eyes and he's about to yell at whoever's driving the boat. How could you not see me? Why did you hit me? And he turns to yell at the boatman and he discovers the boat is empty. It wasn't anchored. And it's just floating around on the water. And he realized in that moment, the anger is actually inside me. And so he needed to do more meditation to purge out the anger that he was holding within. So we have all kinds of emotions, right, that we can get triggered with or triggered by. And lately, that could happen even more so because we've been taken to a vulnerable state. We've been rocked and played with our emotions, and there's all these headlines coming at us on top of all the personal stuff that we're going through. So I just want you to remember that story. If you're seeing a headline, if you're getting baited, if you're getting triggered, and to realize, do I want to feed the division and polarity? Do I want to feed the anger that is always getting stewed? Do I want to continue on that route of fear, or can I return to this place of love, acceptance, and compassion? And how can I get back to that place over and over and over again? Because it takes work, it takes practice, it takes discipline. So that's kind of the story that I want to share with you in the beginning, and we will be doing both poses. Both poses do require some core work, and core work is not my favorite. So when we get to that point where we're working into the core, I'll give you options, and I'll give you ways to modify or to do it in a more expressive or more advanced way if you feel up to it. But you'll have the tools when we get there. All right, so let's go ahead and begin sitting upright. And rising up through the crown of the head. Rising up through the sternum. And letting the shoulders drop and descend. Once the shoulders drop and descend, also descend your awareness down into your seat. Let your hips and pelvis get heavy, even though you're creating this lightness in the upper body. Try to connect these two lines of energy. the grounding line, as well as that uplifting line, as though you were a conduit between the heavens and the earth. Scan through your body and just notice what you're bringing to the mat with you today. And remember to practice with metta, loving kindness, and compassion with yourself. If or when at any point through the practice you feel the need to be still or to take a break, child's pose is always available, or the passive crocodile is always available. Now notice the energy you're bringing to the mat with you today. Is it high or low? Vibrant or dull? And then acknowledge the framework of your mind. Is it scattered or restless? Or is it calm and clear? And regardless of where you're at physically, energetically, or mentally, we're going to try to improve our state and unify our state through this practice. Begin by incorporating a deep yogic breath. Inhaling fully and exhaling completely. If you were to put all your emphasis today on just simply trying to master your breath, this could be one of the highest forms of yoga you practice all day. Which is why if you need a break physically, if you're doing child's pose or passive crocodile, if you're really immersed in your breath, you're still doing your yoga. Take one more deep breath. When you're ready, gently begin to flutter the eyes open. We'll come away from our seat. We get right up into a standing position on Wednesdays. We're going to stand at the very top portion of the mat. Look down at your toes to make sure they're lining up, one's not crossing past another. Splay the toes wide and see if you can see the coloration of your mat in between each one. There may be a few rebellious toes that don't want to separate. But once you feel that broadness of the feet, really anchor down to the four corners. And when you anchor down, feel that engagement through the legs. Let your arms slide down beside them and let your heart and your crown lift. Standing in Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Then join your hands together to Anjali Mudra. Gaze forward at one steady point. And think about your own personal intention for being here today. Plant that seed before we get rolling. And add it in with the mixture of the message I'm giving you today. As you inhale, let's bring the arms out and up to front face. And as you exhale, swan dive forward and down to your Uttanasana. Inhale, we're lifting halfway up, elongating the vertebrae. And as we exhale, we're stepping to plank and immediately lowering to Chaturanga Dandasana. As we inhale, feel free to lay on the knees, but pick up the pelvis and open your throat. As you exhale, roll back over your toes and come to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Applying weight in the palms of the hands, extending long through your arms and spine, even if that requires softening the knees. Taking deep sips of breath. Every inhalation taking you within. Every exhalation allowing you to center and settle within.
On your next inhale, you can meditationally walk, you can lunge, you can float both feet together to where we started, lifting halfway up. Exhale, bow out. Take a moment to pause here. Folding in half, tipping your weight forward slightly. Magnetizing the head and heart a little lower. Breathing into your kidneys at your low back. Now that we've been opening up the back of the body a little bit more, root down, inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Exhale, hands return to the heart. Remember your intention. Inhale, sweep the arms nice and wide. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Once you dive in, inhale, sprout up, look out. And as you exhale, step it back and drop it low. Building upper body strength. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog unless you need a modification. Exhale, curl over the toes, rocking back to downward facing dog. Let your head bow between the arms. Look in the direction of the feet or beyond. And magnify your breath. Feel free to ignite that Ujjayi pranayama if you need something to meditate on, if you need that sweet sound. Inhale, let's plant the feet at the top of the mat. Lifting to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. We're going to continue on. Inhale to Urdhva Hastasana at the top. Exhale, hands come home to the hearts. All right, we're doing one more A. Inhale, expand open. Exhale, close into set. Inhale, lift out and lengthen. Exhale, step it back and lower down. Inhale, rising into up dog. Exhale, carrying yourself back to downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. Enjoy your time here. This is where we reset. This is where we reclaim control over the breath. On your next inhale, land the feet at the top. Open up the heart. Exhale, lower back in. Inhaling up. And exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to move into B. We're going to change it up. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, dip over straight legs. Inhale, sprout up. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Forelimb sacros. Inhale to a back bend. Exhale to down dog. Now, be here and look at your feet. Close the distance between the toes, so there's maybe just a couple inches. And then lift your right leg halfway up, just halfway. Step that right foot all the way through. Turn and plant your back foot down and rise up to warrior one. Focus on the foundation of the feet. Turn your back hip more towards the front. Roll the pinkies in towards your temples and feel that broadness come in your shoulder blades. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, step back. Exhale, lower down chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Same thing here, close that space between the big toes, not all the way, just to slim it up. Inhale, lift your left leg halfway, keeping the hips square. Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then swing the foot through. Usually that swing through helps to land the foot, plant the back foot. Inhale, come on up. So Virabhadrasana 1. Feet rooting, hips teeing off, pinkies rolling in, gazing straight ahead. Pull up your own internal warrior energy. We're all fighting our own battles in life. Exhale, hands down. Step back. Drop down. Build it up. And roll it back. Start to notice if your body's getting a little bit more pliability through this movement, through nourishing the joints, through opening up the muscles. Continue to use the power of your breath. The strong yogic breath can nourish the nerve roots, and an even rhythmic breath can calm the nervous system while we're partaking in this practice. Inhale, let's land the feet at the top of the mat. Open up halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale, Utkatasana. That's where the knees bend and the arms lift. Exhale, hands to hearts. All right, we get to do another B, yay. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold straight down. In, halfway up. Out to Chaturanga. Remember, child's pose is always available. So some of these vinyasas you may want to skip. That's okay. Once you carry yourself to downward facing dog, we're going to change up what we just did in the previous one. The first thing we need to do, though, is close that gap between the big toes like we did earlier. This will help us to maintain balance when we lift up one leg. Inhale, lift your right leg halfway. We're going to go to cheetah next. Cheetah is where the shoulders stack over the hands like plank, but we're going to draw the nose and that right knee towards each other, creating a cat stretch back. So take your cheetah on your out breath. Inhale, stretch back. Lengthen out to the right leg. Exhale, swing that foot through. Land it to the top of the mat. Bury the back heel down. Bring it up. Warrior 1. So try to get your head over your shoulders over your hips. Good, release the hands. We'll take another vinyasa. So notice again the feet, slim up that space. Lift your left leg this time, halfway. Continue to breathe. Exhale, cheetah. Crunching it through the belly. Inhale, lift back. Exhale, step that left foot through, bury the back heel down. Warrior 1. So we're going to get a couple cheetahs in the next sun's out too, because that will help when we get to the boat poses. Exhale, hands down. Step it back. Drop it low. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, carry yourself back. So even though we don't do true Ashtanga yoga on Wednesdays, it's part of our inspiration, which is why we jump right into sun sounds. We're using the sun sounds to warm up the body, and then we'll do more static poses. Inhale, feet at the top. Open up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. All right, we got one more beat. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold over straight legs. Inhale, give yourself a little pick me up. And then exhale, that low push up. You can always drop your knees, remember to modify. Inhale to up dog, cobra is a nice modification, or sphinx. Exhale to down dog, another nice modification is puppy. Feet close a little more together. This time we're doing 3 cheetahs. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, cheetah. Inhale, lift the right leg, shoot back. Exhale, cheetah. One more. Inhale, extend the right leg. Exhale, step that foot forward. This time, stay on the ball of the back foot. Come to crescent lunge instead. From crescent lunge, I want you to feel that iliopsoas muscle wrapped in front of that left hip. It actually comes up and attaches to the low back. We're going to work with that here. Bring the hands down. Sink the back knee down. Keep the back toes curled. When you're here, come to the tips of the fingers. Lift the head a little higher, like a little bitty cow tilt. And as you exhale, pick up the back thigh and round in like cat stretch. Inhale, descend the knee. Come to the tips of the middle fingers, lift the face. Exhale, ground through thumbs, pick up your back thigh, round it up. Last one. Good work for the feet too. All right, when you're ready, right foot, plank. Exhale, drop low. Inhale to the silks of the arms. Exhale, rock and roll back. All right, core work is not my favorite. Did I say that already? Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, cheetah. Now, if you need to modify, you can be on hands and knees and do this from table. Inhale, extend that left leg. Exhale, crunch and cheetah. Again, you can do this from tabletop. Inhale, one more. Good, abdominal work here. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Stay on the ball of the back foot. Slowly rise. Crescent lunge. This is more of a balancing pose. So fine tune your balance. That can help when you set your drishti, your focal points. Focus eye, focus mind. Focus mind, balance body. Feel the iliopsoas. Is it tighter or looser? Bring the hands down. Slowly descend your back knee. Good. Come to the tips of the middle fingers just so that you can lift through your chest. And then exhale, the thumbs can drop. And you're rounding it out. 2 more. Like a little bitty cow tilt in the half lunge. And it's like a cat stretch in the other lunge. Last set. We got one more vinyasa. Before we move on. All right, so let's plant the hands, step to plank, and then you got it in. You find your inner strength. Be here now. Find your breath. Find that peace between the river of thoughts. Swim your awareness into that space. Inhale, bring the feet to the top of the mat. Lift halfway on the right. Exhale, fold back in half. Inhale your Utkatasana. Exhale, Samasthiti. All right, we're gonna set the feet apart. We're moving on. Shoulders roll back, chest pops up. You got it, exhale. When you're folding, scrunch in like you're wearing a corset across your abdomen, across your low ribs, and fold. You're going to bend the knees if you need to, because we want the hands to go under the feet. So if the only way you can get there is bending the knees, that's perfectly fine. We're trying to give the hands a counter pose. You want your toes to land at the crease of the wrist. You are literally standing on your hands. In fact, that's what this pose means, Padahastasana. And that means foot over hand pose. Lower your head. Let the blood and energy flow come down to the brain to give you a reboot. You know how sometimes electronics, you have to turn them off completely, troubleshoot, turn it back on, and it starts to work a little better. Well, there's times where we must unplug too. Make sure you're unplugging daily at some point. Release your hands. Bring them to your waist and slowly come up. Bring the feet together. You're gonna step to the right with your feet really wide. And it's okay if you guys want to turn this way so you can see me. So you guys can step up. Yeah. And then you guys will not be mirroring each other, okay? So follow my left or right. So your right foot's gonna rotate. Your arms are going to lift shoulder height. You're gonna lengthen out over the right leg and windmill down to triangle pose. So feel free to stack your hand on a block or your leg, but create long linear lines. See if you can roll open through the barrel of the chest. Anchoring your feet. And allow the energy to ascend up into your left hand. Affirm internally and believe that energy and joy come down to me. Inhale, gently bring it up. All right, relax your arms. Right foot's gonna turn in. Left foot's gonna rotate out. And then float the arms back up again. Push into your hips. Lengthen out over the front leg. And when you're ready, triangle pose. Nice, you're rolling open through the belly, through the chest. If there's any trouble with your top shoulder, hand to the hip is fine. Use your breath. Energy and joy come down to me. Repeat that in your mind once, twice, or 3 times over. Inhale, draw up. Relax the arm. Left foot turns in, right foot turns out. When the right foot turns out, we're lunging that knee, dropping through the thigh, stacking onto it, and then lifting the left arm and maybe shooting it over the ear. So now I want you to focus on that back foot, on that top hand. Connect that energetic line. This line here, by the way, is the gallbladder meridian. And guess what? The gallbladder meridian can be affected when we're angry, frustrated, irritated, if something's galling us, right? Like the monk meditating on the lake that got hit by the boat. What's coming up inside of you? Can you temper it? Inhale, come up. Turn the right foot in, left foot rolls out. Lunge that knee, drop that thigh, drop onto it. Right arm's gonna sail up, maybe over. It doesn't have to go over the ear. It's one expression. So connect from your back foot through your top fingertips. Is anything being left out in that pathway? If so, open it up, no kinks. Breathe. Inhale, draw it up. Turn the left foot in. Right foot's gonna turn out. You're gonna spin off your back heel. You're gonna land your right hand and you're gonna fly the right hand skyward. Taking a twist. Good, exhale, bring your right hand down. Walk the hands towards the center of your mat and spin on the feet. Walk your hands back in between and descend down. The crown of the head is facing the floor. The eyes can be open or shut. The arms can be doing any type of expression, but where I took you was Prajnaritha Padottanasana A. Now notice if you're using your knees or quads at all, you should be. So if you're not, lift through your kneecaps, engage your quadriceps, let those areas strengthen as the hamstrings open. Couple more breaths. Hands to the hips, slowly build yourself to stand. Then your left foot's gonna turn. You'll lunge that knee, you'll lower the right hand down, and you'll apply the left arm skyward. Spinning the navel towards that inner thigh. Squeezing the left hip in. Exhale, bring the left hand to the inside of that foot. Travel back to where we were earlier, except we're gonna reposition the hands. We're gonna turn the hands to face, like where the back of the legs are facing. And then you're just gonna travel them through, slowly stepping the hands back. And then draping down to the crown of the head. Now, if your hands don't quite touch the floor, just do your best. You can do a wrist stretch, or you can stand your hands on blocks and slide the blocks through. One last breath. Walk your hands back under the face. Walk the hands forward and out, forward and out. Straighten your arms, lift your head up, even out that blood flow. So remember, if you're ever getting like fillers or Botox or dental surgery or eye surgery or anything like that, you don't want to be inverted. Any moments where you're going into like vertigo, getting dizzy, you don't want to be as fully inverted. Sometimes that can come up for different reasons, even fluid being in the ear with allergies. All right, take your hands to your hips, slowly start to come up. All right, we'll turn the left foot or right foot, depending on where you're at. And you're gonna step to the top of the mat. All right, we're gonna bring it down to the floor. Hands to prayer position. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. All right, inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees. Okay, if there's a lot of snap, crackle, pop, if you're your knees can't handle this, go ahead and sit to the floor. But if your feet and knees can handle this and you can balance, stack your hands on the knees, slowly build the vertebrae up. Face forward, take a couple breaths. We're slowly going to lower ourselves down and stretch out the legs. You have to shimmy back a little bit. All right, you're gonna push down through your thighs. And place your, before you do that actually, soften your knees. And take your hands right to your thighs on top. Now push down through your thighs. Do you feel them engage? Do you feel them get defined? Also notice your knees. That's what I meant earlier when we were folding over. Make sure your knees and quads are defined. So we've got it here for the hamstring work. Lift the arms up. As you exhale, you may only get here and you're doing it. You're folding. You may be here. You're still doing it. You're folding. It is not about touching the toes. But some of you may have that flexibility to hook the feet. Hashimotonasana. Inhale, gently bring it up. Bend your right knee. Open up from that hip. Inhale, arms lift again. And check in with your low back, because there are some days when you fold forward, if you get that little sharp or shooting pain, you shouldn't even fold. You can just be here. This is a lot of benefit just being here. But if you don't have any pain in that low back, go ahead and fold. So more traditionally, we look out towards the foot. And then for a while, we were looking down. But I want you to pay attention to your neck and think about your daily habits. Think about if you've been to a chiropractor, if you've had any x-rays. Do you have too much of a curve? Do you have no curve? You know, and consider that when you practice. Inhale, we're lifting the arms. As we exhale, we're taking a twist to the right. Right hand behind our back, left hand to that knee. And we have the tendency to want to lift the knee, but actually try to lower it if you can. And then roll open through your shoulders. Reach out through the left foot. Exhale. Left. Step the foot. Hug that knee in with the left arm. Lift up through the right arm. Good, slowly twist to the right. Set that hand behind you again. Affirming here as you hold, I radiate my love, goodwill, compassion to soul friends everywhere. Exhale. Straighten out the right one. Bend your right one. Turn open from the hip. Bring that foot to connect to the straight leg. And lift the arms overhead as you inhale. Exhale, fold on the exhale. Find your edge wherever that may be. Consider how forward folds, arms out, letting go. lessons of the second chakra is learning how to trust and surrender, how to let go of guilt and shame and blame. Right? That's what the monk had to do. He couldn't point blame to anyone driving the boat. The boat was empty. Inhale, build up. Exhale, twist left. So twists are good for all of the energy centers, but primarily this third, the abdomen, the solar plexus. And that is considered the place of our emotional body. A lot of our inner organs are impacted by the emotions that we claim. Like the liver and the gallbladder is associated with resentments and anger. The spleen and the stomach are related to worry and stress. The lungs are tied in with grief. The kidneys, fears and doubts. Exhale and line. Lift that knee, step the foot on over, then hug it in with the right arm, lift the left arm, rotate back around. If you twisted the other way before, just twist the other way now. It's okay. Excellent. All right. We're going to step the left foot over and bend the right knee. The feet are much more forward than the knees. All right. We're going to build up for the boat pose now. We're going to do some more, I feel like more gentle core work to build up to that. So as you inhale, the arms lift up. As you exhale, pull the navel in around the back, lean back. Only go to a certain point because we're rising up again on the inhale. On the exhale, we roll it back. Scrunch in through the belly. You want that C curve. You want to pierce that navel in when you pull back. This time, add in a twist. Take it to the left. Inhale to the top. Exhale straight back like we did before. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale back. Inhale to the top. Exhale, twist to the left. Exhale through the middle. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Just gonna do one more set, okay? Inhale up. Exhale through the middle. Inhale up. Exhale to the left. Since we started to the left, we have to go all the way back to the right, then we're done with this. In case inside you're getting mad at it. Inhale. All right, exhale, bring the feet together. Draw them in and fold. Let's give our abdominals a little bit of a break here. Move back into the hips, a squattery element. Breathe. Inhale, let's build back up. hands under the knees to pull them together. All right, here we go. Hands flip underneath the crease of the knees. We're ready for boats. Shoulders back, heart lifted. Build the feet up, flex the ankles. You can stay here, or you can crank up the core more and extend the arms out in front. Crisscross, hands down, lean forward, maybe bump up, that's core work too. Reflex the feet, take a hold of the back of the legs. Again, second round, you can be here or here. And affirm internally within every breath is infinite power. Think about how the breath has the power to temper our irritability, to temper our anger, to help us feel patience. Crisscross the ankles, lean forward, bump up if you can. Third round, you can straighten the legs if you want. You can amp it up more by releasing your hands if you want. Then every breath is infinite power. We have the choice to blame and to shame or to let it go. Drop the heels, drop into your low back. Create your canoe shape. Your low back's on the floor, your buttocks is on the floor. And then, lower the head, hug the knees. You've earned this one. Relax. And even though we're not doing abdominal work, this is still some core work. It's not contraction, it's not strengthening, but there's compression. And the compression provides the inner kneading or the inner massage work for those inner organs that may be the holding tank for some of these emotions you've been carrying around. Good, open up the arms. Let your knees swirl to the left. Take a supine twist. We're cooling down now. We heated up at the beginning. We took more time and awareness with some static poses. We did our core work for the boat pose. Now we're starting to pull down. How well are we digesting and processing the things that are showing up around us in life? The things that are showing up within us in those different scenarios and situations. So there's this place called Gethsemane Monastery up in Trappist, Kentucky. It's a place you can go to for a silent retreat. It's free. They take donations if you want to donate. It's Christian based. There's monks that go into the chapel to sing 7 times a day. You get a private room, you get a private bath. They feed you 3 meals a day. There's a beautiful trail of statues that you can take. Anyway, on the opening day that you arrive, you have the option to go hear one of the head monks speak. And one of the times where I went, one of the monks was, pretty much declaring, I don't know why you're here, why you're seeking silence, but it is an important practice. And it's a practice for you to, create a closer connection with yourself and with God. And he said, some of the monks that think that they want to come here and live here, he said, we may find out later they're doing it for the wrong reason, that they're just trying to escape life, that they don't want to deal with all the emotions, they don't want to deal with the normal stressors, they don't want to deal with the responsibility and role playing.
And so they try to hide away. But what they realize through those deep moments of solitude and silence and meditation is it's still all inside of you. You can't run from it. Thus the parable that we heard earlier. Inhale, draw the knees through center. Exhale, roll it over to the right. Relax here and breathe. Consider how anger and blaming has no positive effect. And nor does trying to persuade using reason or arguments. It's usually a loop. It usually becomes a confrontation. So why do we blame, reason, and argue? If you dive within, if you can let some of these things go through a deeper understanding, you can still send love to the situation, and love creates a better impact, and love can create more change. That's a spiritual universal law. And it's something even Martin Luther King Jr. lived by and spoke about. You cannot drive out darkness with darkness, only light can do that. You cannot drive out hate with more hate, only love can do that. Inhale, draw the knees through center. Flatten the feet to the floor. Bring the arms down beside you. Push into the soles of the feet. Lift thighs. Hips, abdomen, chest, sit through Bandhasana bridge. If you need supported bridge, or if that's your preference, you can certainly take a block underneath your back. If, on the other hand, you like a challenge, you're free to challenge yourself by flipping your hands over the shoulders, pushing down into the hands and feet, and lifting yourself up into a full chakrasana or wheel pose. So if you come all the way up with your head, you'll eventually lower to the back of your neck to bridge again. Stand bridge for at least 7 to 10 breaths. If you have the block, you're welcome to do waterfall. Or any other thing of your life. And when you're ready to exit, let's slowly release. Hug the knees in one last time. And we're ready for our Shavasana. So it may be that you want your bolster under your legs. Maybe that you didn't get enough heart openers and you want it under your spine. You may need to send legs up the wall if you've been having trouble sleeping. I'll let you take the time to get settled. Bring your attention to your feet. Relax the toes, the arch, and the ankles. Soften your calves, your knees, your thighs. Relax your hips, buttocks, pelvic floor. To relax the lower body. Awareness to the lower and upper abdomen, and make sure you're not holding, gripping, or contracting anymore. Let the belly as you breathe. Soft your chest, your shoulders, your arms, hands. Your throat, your neck. The weight of the head to rest. Softening all the muscles of the face, even the sensory organs. Just transcend beyond. To unify every aspect of your being. Place your right hand lightly on your belly, your left hand lightly over your chest. Start to open up the breath, feeling that wave, that undulation occurring between the two hands. So sometimes we feel things stirring up inside of us. Right now, the world is getting stirred up. Full of fear, negativity, and falsehoods, and it's just the old dense energy surfacing and rising to be seen and evaluated. Be a critical thinker and question, but without despair. Keep rising above and trusting the divine order and plan. Keep rising above duality and polarity into a state of unity. Keep rising above triggers and traumas into a place of healing. Rise above guilt, blame, and shame, and keep rising up into the light, just like the lotus rises up from the murky waters, from the mud below, surfacing over the water to shine its petals towards the sunlight. Be the lotus. If you're flat on your back, feel free to hug the knees in. If you're not flat on your back, just bend your knees. Roll the way to your favorite side. Up for a special seat. Sitting in whatever manner is good for your body, as it is right now. Closing the eyes and assessing yourself from the inside out like we did at the beginning. Checking in physically. Energetic. Emotionally and mentally. Let's end with our final breathing treatment. A few deep breaths in and out through the nose. Bring your palms together. To prayer position at your heart. The light within me honors and respectfully bows to the beautiful radiant light in each of you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you, Mary. I'm glad you got to